Chương trình này được bảo trợ bởi
Family Joy, tổ ấm y tế của mọi gia đình, 714 898 0765.
Hi, welcome back to the OC Health and Education Show on Little Saigon TV. I'm your host, Julie Yip. We are here today with retired officer Tim Vu and the director, associate dean of the nursing program at Golden West College, Dr. Alice MARTANEGARA. Thank you again for being here today. We had a great opportunity to learn a lot more about, the benefits of going to a community college versus a four-year university and making sure we find that right match for our students. At this point, I definitely want to learn a lot more about each of your respective programs. I know during the commercial break, we talked about, why it is that, there are more students or Asians community enrolling at OCC, but not Golden West College. So can you help me understand what's going on and how can we get more people who even live closer to Golden West College not attending this community college?
Yeah, so during break I had mentioned that too, and you had mentioned that for a lot of people in the community, they see OCC as a transfer school, yes, where they see Golden West as a vocational school, and that's not actually correct. At Golden West College, we offer vocational training, but we also offer associate's degree as well as transfer as well. So within the criminal justice program, students that come to Golden West to be a student there, they can go for an associate's degree, or they can also do an associate degree for transfer to a four-year institution for a four-year degree. But we also provide that vocational training that you're referring to, which is the police academy. But on top of that, we also do in-service training, which really affects more of our people that are already working in the field. Mm-hmm. This is continuing education for them. But specifically, one of our premier program for the criminal justice program is our police academy. And we run 2 academies a year at the college. It's on-site at the campus. Wow. For those that are interested in, being part of that, certainly there are some requirements. They can certainly go to the Golden West website and look at all the requirements, but just some of the highlights. The big things are, obviously, students that are enrolled in there cannot have any felony conviction, both state or federal. They must have a clearance from a medical clearance, so that, because there is a lot of physical health. There's a lot of physical health, yeah, so mental health, physical health, so they do have to get that cleared first before they can enroll into the class. But it's 6 months of intensive training. If they are basically 40 hours a week for 6 months. Wow. So the whole program is about a little over 1,000 hours of training. But the great thing about that is once you finish your training, you get what's called a post-certificate. Now you can actually perform the duties of a police officer in the state of California as long as you're employed by a police agency.
And we can do this whole program just at Golden West College.
Exactly. And the great thing about that is most of our police graduates from our academy, they usually enter into their chosen profession of choice or something similar to that. And I would say that about 100% of our students that graduate there do end up finding some kind of employment, with the great majority of them in law enforcement. So,
well, thank you so much, Tim, for sharing that information. Thưa quý vị khán giả, hôm nay retired Police Chief Tim Vu có nói chuyện về chương trình của Golden West College. Trước phần quảng cáo, Julie có nói chuyện với Tim là tại sao trường OCC có nhiều người Á Đông mình học bên đó mà không phải là Golden West College. Một cái ý kiến Julie nói đó là tại ở Orange Coast College nhiều người nghĩ đó là mọi em học cái trường đây được chuyển qua cái trường 4 năm, mà thiệt ra cái chương trình của Golden West College rất là đặc biệt, cũng có thể làm cái transfer, đó là đã chuyển qua được, cũng có được bằng AA là bằng 2 năm, cũng có thêm nữa là vocational training, học trong cái chương trình của Police Academy. Một cái chương trình anh Tim Vũ có nói thêm á, là một cái continual education, đó là chừng nào có người nào mà làm trong nghề rồi có thể quay lại học thêm nữa để cho mình không có quên mấy cái trong thông tin đây, hay có thể thông tin mới mình phải học thêm để tìm hiểu thêm. Tim, again, thank you so much for sharing all the information, because a lot of people don't understand that Golden West College has so much to offer.
Exactly.
In addition to what other community college has, which is the AA degree and a transfer program, but you do have that police academy program that you mentioned that's only 6 months. But intensive 6 months training.
That is, it's correct. It's intensive 6 months, so it's basically
it's 40 hours, a full-time job.
Yeah, it's just 40 hours of training at the academy. Certainly, the students are, after they're done with their training at school, they are studying at home, and so it's I equate it almost as a full-time job for them. Yes. But the benefit of that is they get to get all of that training in a short period of time, and now they get to transition into a career that can pay upwards up to $100,000 a year with benefits and retirement.
Career.
So I think that I think maybe a lot in our community don't realize that public safety, obviously being in law enforcement, it can be a dangerous job. It's not always a dangerous job, but that's certainly a possibility. But from a career perspective, it really provides for a great career longevity in terms of pay, benefit, and retirement. And if you take that and compare it maybe to the private sector, I think you'll find that it's very competitive.
Okay. Thưa quý vị khán giả, hôm nay anh Chân chia sẻ thêm cái chương trình chỗ Golden West College, the Law Enforcement Program, một cái chương trình là cũng có 6 tháng. Thì nhiều lúc á mình thấy mình làm trong học nghề gì á rất tốn kém mấy năm, giống như Julie phải học bằng 6 năm, có bằng master mới được ra nghề. Mà cái chương trình của Law Enforcement Golden West College, một chương trình là rất là intensive, là phải làm 4 vi học đó là 40 tiếng mỗi tuần trong 6 tháng. Mà sau 6 tháng đó là em đó có thể là được vô nghề, đi tìm công việc làm liền. Anh Tim có chia sẻ là cái chương trình mà làm cho là cái nghề cảnh sát, nhiều người nghĩ là nguy hiểm mà không phải là nguy hiểm, không, nó có nhiều cái quyền lợi. Cái quyền lợi đó là có thể làm rất là nhiều tiền, có thể lên cũng có 100.000, cũng có thể hơn mình luôn. Hôm nay mà mình thấy đó là trong cái nghề đây á là không có phải là cái phần nguy hiểm không, mà mình có thể giúp cho cộng đồng của mình để được giữ cái an toàn cho mỗi người. You know, I just mentioned again, it's not just, people sometimes worry more about the risk and all the bad things you hear on TV. But what I see, again, appreciate, all that you do, and all of our law enforcement officers that do, put their life at risk sometimes, but mostly to preserve our safety and enforce the rules and the laws and regulations, so we do have an orderly community.
Yes.
Thank you again, Tim, for your contributions. And I didn't have a chance to talk to you so much right now, but Dr. Alice, we heard about the program, about the law enforcement program at Golden West College. I know your program is impacted, meaning that it might be harder to get in, but you're here because it's so important for us to talk about the importance part of what nursing is and integrate in the Vietnamese community. So can you tell us a little bit about your program and what it takes to get in?
Thank you. So Julie, our program is impacted, and so is all nursing programs within the state and across the country. What's so unique about Golden West to get in is the requirements is the same all across the country.
Okay.
And whether you're trying to get into a community college or you're trying to get into a four-year college. So the only difference is once you do get in into the program, you have a career right away after finishing 2 years of the intense training as Tim's program is, but 2 years, 4 semesters, and you're eligible to take your licensure exam with the state of California and go to work right away. And then thereafter, usually our graduates get a job right away because there's a demand for nurses.
And especially during COVID.
Especially during COVID, and nurses do make over $100,000 and benefits and so much more in overtime, with some of nurses only working 3 days a week. And so this is a great career to have gainful employment. And then thereafter, once they get to work, majority of our students do want to continue on to a bachelor's degree. And it's so much more seamlessly, they can finish that bachelor's degree in a year after they finish our program. So it's a total of 3 years for the whole entire thing when in comparison to attending a large university where you do the same thing, except you're committed to that.
I know, my bachelor's degree took me 4 years, and most of us, it takes us 4 years. And I love how condensed it is and how intensive it is.
Yeah.
I think some of us as learner, for me as a learner, I like a quarterly program because I like it fast. Anything longer, I kind of slack off.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you sharing that information with us. Thưa quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV, hôm nay Julie có thời gian nói chuyện với Dr. Alice Martanegara. And Dr. Alice Martanegara là một người Associate Dean nursing ở trường Golden West College. Hôm nay Dr. Nagara có chia sẻ đó là cái chương trình của họ nursing là cái chương trình y tá đó là rất là impacted, đó là rất là khó vô, mà không phải là khác về cái chương trình đây, mà trong thế giới cũng có nhiều người về nhiều cái chương trình rất khó vô, mà điều nào trẻ em nào mà được vô được, cái người nào được vô được cái chương trình nursing để có cái tương lai rất là đặc biệt, có nhiều công việc trong cộng đồng của Việt Nam của mình. Thì Julie hy vọng sau phòng quảng cáo Julie sẽ tiếp tục nói chuyện về chi tiết thêm làm sao Dr. Nagara với anh Tim để giúp được cộng đồng Việt Nam của mình. Cảm ơn quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV đã tiếp tục theo dõi chương trình Kiến thức Y khoa gia đình và xã hội.